Thank you, Karen. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yep, I'm here too.
Thank you. So I think we'll go ahead and get started. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We have folks in town as well as out of state, and that's awesome. Kurt and I, this is Darlene Cocorell. Kurt and I are very excited to be leading you guys in the Yellow Letter campaign. These first two calls are just pretty much to put the word out there and let you know what we're going to be doing for the next 60 days in the Yellow Letter campaign. I know we have coming up Monday night, this Monday, August 10th, is our general meeting. And Monday we have a panel, and Kurt and I will both be on the panel to discuss direct marketing and a little bit more about what the program is going to entail. Myself, Darlene, I've been in the business since 1991. I'm a long-term GaREIA member as well as a volunteer and one of the education group leaders. I'm a real estate broker in multiple states. My most recent claim to fame for the last couple of years is buying lots and lots of houses at the foreclosure auctions, as well as just doing a lot of flipping. Kurt, I know, has been a primary leader for our last couple Yellow Letter campaigns and can tell us tons of information about that. Kurt, I'd like to go ahead and hand it over to you for the moment, and then we'll just kind of tag team as it progresses through.
Right, absolutely. Thank you, Darlene. Yeah, just a little background about me, because I think students need to know who they're partnering with, and I feel that this is truly a partnership between me and Darlene and the students that sign up. We are here to both train you on a particular technology and process, but also to partner with you for your success. So I have been a real estate investor for only 4.5 years. A GaREIA member, Brad Pop, met me online and drew me into GaREIA as I was buying my first rental in Norcross. And between when I met Brad and today, my wife and I have bought and put into service between 5 and 6 rentals per year. Now we're up to 25. So I've got some experience at what I do, direct marketing, buying and rehabbing properties, and managing the rehab and managing rentals and interviewing renters. So between Darlene and I, we pretty much cover the whole range of real estate deal types and how to become successful. And also I've done my fair share of mistakes, and I'm very happy to share those with you. Because GaREIA is also to learn how to do things successfully, but also to hear about the mistakes. So anyway, so the Yellow Letter process starts with buying a list or getting a list, and this mentorship will seed you with what has turned out to be very effective address lists for sellers. That I have a lifetime subscription to a nationwide successful person, Kent Clothier, and his website is findmotivatedsellersnow.com. You could go to that if you'd like just to see what his lead source is. And I give those leads away free to all the student mentees that join the program. The program says 250 leads, which is plenty to get you through, but I'm very happy to continue sending you leads as long as you're mailing them, because I want you to be successful. So the program initially starts off with jump-starting you mailing your first Yellow Letter mailing, because what we want you to do is to start having sellers call you back within a couple days. And they can be within a couple of days of your mailing, usually 5 to 10 days. So if you sign up, I will immediately get you out a list of addresses and a template for the handwritten letter and the envelope type and so on. So the mentorship goes through mailing letters, and then, most importantly, how to talk to the seller. Because that's where the rubber meets the road. So we're talking through the developing a relationship with the seller. They trust you, and the bullet points that you go over. So it becomes kind of a routine for you, kind of check box. You talk it through, but you're talking very friendly to the seller. And what we found is women actually can have an easier time bonding with sellers. Us men, we have to work a little harder at it. Sellers are naturally apprehensive. And so we have to, both us, the guys and the girls, we need to, be a friend, or a concept is be the doctor. Diagnose what their needs are, learn what their needs are, and then offer solutions that they feel are trustworthy and credible. Then it's the deal structure type that you craft offers to the sellers. So we'll cover deal types. This turns into kind of A to Z in real estate technology. It's not just direct marketing, because you have to know how to construct a lease option offer, sometimes a seller finance offer. The desire today is to offer a wholesaling offer, but a lot of sellers will want full price for their homes, which a wholesaler can't afford to give. So it's a numbers game.
Kurt, let me ask you a question. For those for the benefit of those listening, in the first two coaching sessions that you've already completed at GaREIA, I'm just thinking out loud for newbies, people who are brand new to the process that have gotten the free leads and have sent their letters out. What kind of success rate were you seeing with these students? Again, somebody kind of brand new.
Right. So here's a reality. The core counties are hotly contested. My rentals in Norcross get postcards from folks from California, from Canada, some local, but 3/4 of the postcards I get are out of state. So all of these vacant leads, if someone can buy a list, that means someone in China could literally do a direct marketing campaign to your homes. And so one of the things that we do that get phone calls is handwritten letters. I've had many students say the seller has an inch-thick stack of postcards and envelopes, but they called the student's letter because it was handwritten. This will always cut through the mustard. Now, still, because the sellers have a lot of competition, there's very little motivation to sell at 40 cents on the dollar. So the agents are getting a lot of listings. The wholesalers, I've heard of one or two wholesalers getting a deal. But everyone gets a lot of practice talking to sellers. And that's valuable in and of itself, is learning how to talk to a seller.
Very good. I know that one of the benefits, again, to the program is kind of working together as a team so that you're not out there on your own for the first time. You get the experience of folks like me and Kurt and others. You get to hear just the results that people are experiencing. One of the things that we do in our sessions is talk about how to choose your markets, and then once you choose a market, one of the most important parts of direct mail is having a good list. And then once you mail out, once you start getting those calls back, what are you going to do? Are you prepared? So preparing yourself to take those calls is a very, very important piece of this. Otherwise, you may put a marketing budget together and you may find yourself getting good calls and then not knowing what to do once the calls come in. Over the years, that's one of the things that I've found with new investors is, oh my God, they've called me back and they want to sell their house, but I don't know what to do. So that's one of the things I've liked with my experience with Kurt is just the vast variety of opportunities to make offers rather than just a flat, let's make an offer for a cash deal, because quite frankly, most people don't have that much cash sitting in their pockets. So understanding how to target a market, how big of a market do you guys want to work? You know, for example, for me, working a whole zip code or working a county, I can handle that in so many different ways. But as an individual investor, maybe you've only done somewhere between 0 and 5 deals in your career so far, but you want to treat this as a business, not just a hobby. What is it? What are your expectations? So we're going to help you manage your expectations. You know, it's really a numbers game when it comes to direct marketing. So one of the things we'll talk about is once you've chosen a market, is it a neighborhood? Is it 5 neighborhoods? Is it a school district? Is it a zip code? Is it a county? Is it a state? What is it? How big do you want to go? Then you got to put a budget in place. And then you've got to be prepared to know what to do once the phone rings. So one of the good things about the program, again, is being able to spend 60 days with us. We do phone calls, we do in class time, and just to be able to get your business ramped up to where it needs to go. Building your dream team is also a big part of your success. So that's part of what we'll put together, just talking to you about the different players that are on the team and who do you have in place, the networking that you'll get from GaREIA and being able to put that team together if you don't have the right players.
Darlene, did you drop off there?
No. Just step to the side for a second. What else? You know, one of the other things, when I saturate my market, my direct mail is a big part of it. What I really like about it is that it makes, in what I call, the seller opens the door. They call me, and it's a lot more comfortable for me if the seller calls and says, hi, I'd like to sell you my house, versus door knocking. But part of the business is potentially door knocking and putting flyers out and sending pieces out in the mail. So one of the huge benefits of direct mail is getting the phone to ring. And so when the seller calls me, they've opened the door and allowed me to talk to them. So that's really exciting. One of the tools that I use is always, I'm looking at the tax records at any given time. So I've got my spreadsheet together when I put my mailers out. I know my addresses, I know my seller's name, so when someone calls me, immediately I'm going to my records and I'm going to look up, is that person really the owner of record? Is that person, do I know when they bought that house and how much they bought that house for? You know, I have scripts and forms that I use all along the way. So that's some of the things that we'll cover as well, being able to give you the scripts. One of the things, Kurt, that you and I talked about, again, you mentioned earlier, was offering free leads. These are vacant houses and zip codes. How do you determine, for example, for each student coming into the program, how do you determine how to disperse and at what point, if the program is starting, we have our kickoff call, we have another call coming up next week, and then the 18th is the first call for the students, and then the 25th of August is the first class time. At what point are you getting out the leads? When can we expect to start doing the mail out?
Very good question. Because we want to have the sellers calling in during the time frame of this mentorship, so students can have firsthand experience talking to sellers and putting into practice the scripts we will talk through. I get the leads out to them immediately upon them paying the sign-up fee, which is on the website. I think it's $325 or $327 for members, another 100 if you're a non-member, which will include a year's membership. It's on the website. There's a early discount, and then it goes up $50. And then I will get you a template of a handwritten letter, and I will work with you one-on-one a little bit to get you started writing your letters and getting a bunch in the mail that first week. So you've got the biggest chance of sellers calling you back.
Great.
So another aspect of this mentorship is starting your business, because direct marketing today, because there's very few good deals on MLS, most of your good deals are going to come through either wholesalers, your own direct marketing campaign, this program, door knocking, or driving for dollars. The deep discounts are just not on MLS, period. So this is the core of a serious real estate investor's business. So the issue in play here is mindset. We are going to help you put your mindset for building your business in place, and that starts with every night you write 50 letters. In a week, you've got 200 letters in the mail. Some of us use mailing shops that sacrifice a bit on the response rate. Handwritten letters get by far the highest response rate. Printed letters that you pay for on from yellowletters.com, for example, or Click to Mail, have maybe half the response rate. So that means you got to spend twice the money on postage, get the same number of callers. So it's the mindset of running your business. This isn't an intermittent hobby. But it's up to you as to how much effort and marketing money you put into it. But this direct marketing has a cost of an envelope, a piece of paper, and a stamp, and either your time to handwrite, which we recommend you handwrite at the beginning, or pay someone else, like Click to Mail, to do that for you and do the mailing. So it's the mindset and setting up your business that we'll also be talking through and helping you with. Back to you, Darlene.
I wanted to, again, mention the general meeting on Monday. If any of you guys have any interest in joining us for the 60-day mentoring program, if you're available this Monday, the general meeting is on GaREIA.org, GaREIA.org. It meets over at the GaREIA area. Starting at 5:30, the doors open. We do announcements at 6:30, marketing sessions. We do success stories, card swaps, networking, that kind of thing. And then our president, Mike Jacobson, will start and we'll do marketing if you have properties for sale. I had someone on the call earlier said he had some properties for sale. And then we go to about 9 o'clock, and then we have the meeting after the meeting at the Rose and Crown restaurant off of Powers Ferry Road. So again, it's at the Wyndham Atlanta Galleria on Monday night. Doors open at 5:30, and really, we kind of get started with the educational side of the business at 7:30. One of the things during our 60-day sessions is that we will share different marketing pieces. I've collected tons of them over the years from the properties that I've gotten, and there's just a ton of different options out there. Every one of us has an opinion. There's no one right answer. I know Kurt likes the handwritten. The bottom line is it's a numbers game, and so whatever your preference is in terms of doing a direct mail piece, we have all kind of options in real time for you guys to look at, and so we'll review those. I like to give the opinion as what I like and what I don't like, and what I think works well and what doesn't work well. The bottom line is you measure your numbers and you see what piece, worst case scenario, is going to give you a 1% return. So if you want one phone call a week, you theoretically are going to have to send out 100 pieces. If you want 100 calls, you're going to send out 1,000 pieces. And another thing in direct marketing or marketing in general is you want to touch folks more than one time. So you're going to incrementally set up just a schedule of when and how you're going to touch those people, whether you're putting out a flyer, you're going to go knock on the door, or you're going to do a direct mail piece out there. So again, making a business out of real estate investing is what's behind how we're going to lead the program. Kurt, I did have a question. Is it possible that we open the call up to some of the folks on the call to be able to ask questions at this point?
Yeah, that makes sense. Let's see if this star 5 things works.
Any of you guys? I also lead a class once a month at GaREIA on Wednesday nights, and I work real hard at this business. I eat, sleep, and drink real estate, and I tell anybody that shows up, there's a good chance you'll be called on in my class. And bottom line is, I ask, what are you doing here on a Wednesday night? I'm tired, you're tired, we put up with Georgia traffic. Why are we here if we can't make money at this? So we are really going to dig in and talk about how to take it from classroom to real time. And so that's what you can expect if you're going to join us. whether it's our class time. So in the 60 days, I think we have at least 3 classes set up, and we have at least that many more phone calls set up during the whole process of getting through this.
Yeah, plus there's a private Google group for the paying members that we use to do real-time deal analysis. You posted the results of a phone call from a seller to that Google group. I'm about 18 hours a day on my computer, so I'm very quick to respond with helps on this private Google group. That you also get a 1-year membership in that Google group, and any number of times repeating this. So any of the past yellow letter folks can repeat this class for free.
Great. At this time, let's field some calls. If you guys questions actually, if you would announce who you are, and if you have a question or comment you'd like to share.
Okay, let me verse 6.
I think Karen said you might need to do it. Right. Do we have anyone on the phone that actually has done some direct mail themselves?
I just started some.
Is this Nan?
Yes.
Tell us about your experience.
Well, I've actually just started mailing them out within the last few days, talking about, the type of letter to send out to people. You mentioned something about a pre-need situation where you might think that maybe the seller is not motivated at the moment, but that you want to be on their radar in case they do become a motivated seller. And I think that would be something that I would be interested in because, there are situations where, if you target a particular segment of the population that is older, they may not need you right now, but then things change. And, they move into nursing homes or they go to live with children. I've run into several situations like that. And that I think that would be a good group to target and just to, keep after them a little bit to say, okay, you might not need me now, but keep my letter.
Oh, absolutely. And that's what we would call the tickler file. So one of the things that I have in my arsenal or my toolbox, if you will, is I have a 31-day accordion file, and then I have a 12-month file. So I have at any given time, if somebody's called me, I try to help us understand how to get them out of the middle ground. Mm-hmm. I have to push hard enough, but not push too hard. I want an end result. I want it dead or I want to convert it. So as long as it's in the middle, Nan, I agree with you. They're in my tickler file. So somewhere along the way, I have to decide what are my pieces? If they say to me, Nan, thank you so much. I would love to sell you my house when the time comes. Check back with me in 6 months. If they haven't told me, then I'm going to say, do you mind if I check back with you in 30 days or 90 days or 6 months? And then I put them in my tickler file. And that's a huge part. It's follow-up.
Right.
I branded myself.
The only thing I would do differently is I'm going to put that on a database. I'm not going to do a file per se. It's going to go on a database.
Well, I'm old. I totally agree with you. Whether you have a physical or an electronic database, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
That's perfect. How many pieces did you send out, Nan?
I've only sent out about 20 so far, and these are specifically to people in that situation to see, if they're not motivated, maybe I can motivate them a little bit, but in a gentle way, because when you're dealing with, there's like one situation where the fella has held on to his mother's house for 20 years, and the city is on his case about not keeping it up. So sometimes an asset becomes a liability in a case like that. And I was just wondering, how would you word a letter to somebody like that? You don't want to tick them off, but at the same time, you do want to kind of get them thinking in that direction that, okay, maybe this isn't such a good idea to hang on to this property anymore.
And that's a very, very good question. I think different verbiage will work for different people in that. It's all about personalities, and I don't know that we have the time to really go into depth in this call, but that is something that we would spend time on as we go through our program. There's a couple things. I like assumptive closes. I like one of my pieces when I have a hot lead but I can't convert them. One of my assumptive, the piece I like to send is a letter of intent, and it simply says, hey, I want to buy your house, I want to spend this much money on it, and I want to close on the day of your choice. And so one of the points you mentioned, if they're not motivated, a lot of people in business will tell you if they're not motivated, then it's very, very difficult to convert. You really got to spend as little energy and as little time with them as possible and move on to the next one. Your goal is to find, a very high level of motivation in your sellers.
Okay. Makes sense.
Who else do we have on the call that has some comments or questions?
Hello, this is Aisha.
Hello, Aisha.
Hi. I have a question because one of the things I keep running into is that I run into people that want to sell, but they also want me to find somewhere for them to go. They want me to find them somewhere to go. Like they have a specific area in mind, and since I'm new to this, I don't have the network kind of built up to reach out to, maybe there are investors who are real estate owners and landlords that may have property available, but I don't know them yet. So
that's a wonderful. That is a wonderful problem to have, actually. And what area are you calling from?
Latonia.
So good. So you're local here in Georgia. Let me tell you that there are so many large investment funds that have large portfolios of rental properties. So one of the things you should do is go online and look for rental houses Latonia, and you will start seeing the Invitation Homes and the Havenbrook and Key Properties and Capital Management. You'll see all of them out there that have properties for rent. Same thing for sale. And somebody, please mute your phone. One of the things that you want to do is know that in building your team, you need those players on your team, such as real estate professionals, real estate agents. We're getting a lot of kickback and feedback.
Yeah,
we're going to have some.
Driving.
Yeah.
Can you mute the line while you answer the call, while you answer the question?
Thank you. take me back, Kurt. Where was I?
Hello?
Oh. Sorry, I lost my train of thought on that one.
Oh, you were mentioning to go online and Google rental.
Right,
houses.
right. So building your team. So building your team is now you know one of the pieces that you need in your team is you need to be able to have the ability or somebody on your team who can work with you to work with your sellers who are looking for someplace to go. So a real estate agent is a prime example. Going online to find there's tons of rentals just showing themselves on the internet. So you can help solve her problem in that way.
Okay.
So the details, one of the things that we have to do is called isolating the objection. One of the things we have to do in that situation is be able to bring it back to a question. In conversations, the person that asks the question is the person that's in control. So you have to be able to go back and say, Mrs. Jones, I understand what you're saying, and let me get the details. You're looking for a 3-2. You want to be in the same school district, same area, another area, whatever the case is, and you're looking to rent or you're looking to buy. That's great. I can help you with that. Mrs. Jones, let's assume that we can do that. What date do you want to move? If all things work in your favor, when would that be? I'm going to ask questions. These are closing questions. I'm going to ask questions to move her to that other part where I need to get her to be, and that is every time she comes back to that point, I'm going to say, absolutely, my team will help you get there, and I'll just keep getting the details with you. But let's assume we found your place, and it's going to be on the day that you want to move. Let's go back to your home for a second. A couple questions that I didn't have answers to, whatever they are. I have my script. And I'm going to go back and I'm going to say, do you have a mortgage on the home? How much is your monthly payment? When's the last time you paid it? Are you current? Those are the kind of things I have to find out. But I have to build trust. You know, one of the things we're teaching you is we are teaching you guys how to be strong salespeople, how to win friends and influence people to the benefit of helping solve their problems while we help you as real estate investors. So that's not a session that's going to happen on this call, but that's kind of where we're trying to get to. Well, Aisha, thank you so much. Do we have someone else that wants to share or ask a question?
Oh, yes, Darlene?
Yes.
Yes, Jesse Carter. Kirk mentioned the fee. Could you just basically go over the fees again and what exactly we get for the amount once we contribute or once we agree that we're going to pay the fee for the yellow campaign?
Oh, yes. Kurt, do you want to do that or should I? Great, I will do that. So we have this call tonight. We'll have another call similar to this, August 12th, next Wednesday. Of course, like we said, Monday night, hopefully we can get to meet some of you. Officially, our kickoff call for paid students is on August 18th. That call is to just basically get us going in the right direction. We will meet together the following Tuesday at the headquarters. And then the same thing, we do the same round a few weeks later in September where we'd have another call and then a class session, and then again in October. So it starts at the beginning, August 18th, and it goes through the end of October. We record our conference calls so that you guys can play them back at any time. Again, all of our classes are held at the headquarters. It's a closed session. The registration ends on August 25th, which is the night of the first class. If you're an early registrant, then it's $327 for members, $427 for non-members, which includes your first year at GaREIA. And so, in a nutshell, that is. And as Kurt said, you get your free addresses. We would start the letter campaign, and then as calls come in, some folks come to the class with already having, like with the ladies that shared with us, they already have answers. They already have sellers that are calling them. one of the things I like to get from students is to bring in, and we'll show you some of the forms. I have a property information sheet. So if you bring your property information sheets with you or discuss them with us, the more information you have, and we will train you as to what more information you really need in this business, the better you will benefit from the program. So all of the forms that you need to be successful are part of the program. Again, structuring it for success is individualized for each one. So everybody has their own pace, their own budgets, their own plans as far as a business plan of success for real estate. So, Jesse, we kind of, again, we try not to spend all the time with one person, but spend enough time so that everybody will benefit through the content that's shared.
Great. Thank you very much.
You are welcome.
Darlene, can I ask one other question?
Who is this again?
This is Aisha.
Yes, Aisha.
Where can I find, and tell me how this is typically done. Okay, I'm a new investor. So I have a background in administrative skills and duties. One of the things I would love to do is kind of work under an investor and handle their administrative needs and things like that to kind of really learn how to set that up. How can I make myself available in that space to kind of help my growth in that area? Because like I said, I'm new to this, and the thing I have is that I have the magnets on my car. I drive around, I get the person, I get the seller, and then I'm stuck because I don't know the conversation that I'm supposed to be having. I don't have the script. I meet people just off my personality, and people open up and tell me their whole life story. But then once I have an address, I don't know who to call. I don't know how to secure the property. So then what?
Fantastic. Aisha, that's a great, you've got half the battle. The ability to talk to strangers, the ability to get strangers to open up to you, that is absolutely half the battle. So knowing what your objections and rebuttals are, knowing you need 20 questions to take you to the finish line. You need to understand and learn what are the 20 questions that you need. And I said 20. It can be 10. And it could be the same question set up in a different way. Bottom line is, do you want to sell your house? Can I buy your house? Can I buy your house? I mean,
right.
That's the bottom line. And so to understand, to learn how to build that into your conversation is number one. Number two, Atlanta is such a vibrant real estate market that if you were to market yourself in one sense, I'll give you an example. Way back when I found myself in a situation that I needed to go back, and this is in the mid-'90s, I found myself in a situation that I needed to go get a W-2 income. I hadn't had one for over 10 years. I've been in the business for a long time, and I have since. Well, what I did know was real estate, and I knew how to put flyers out. And so I put a flyer about myself. I went to real estate agents' offices. And the flyer was me as an administrative assistant. I ended up, in 6 days, I put out 125 flowers within 5 real estate offices of my house. I ended up getting 6 phone interviews, 2 in person, and on the 7th day I started with a high-producing RE/MAX agent. In the first year with me and her together, she was the number 3 agent in the state. Second year became the number 1 top-producing agent. And I didn't make all the money I needed to make, and I was working for somebody else. But right. The bottom line was I was willing to do what it took, and that helped me become the hybrid in the business that I am today. I started as a real estate investor. I got licensed in 94. I went and worked in the retail side of real estate for 2 years with an agent, and then left again, and et cetera, et cetera. I got a huge history beyond that. So you could easily market yourself. I'd say you'll be an intern. If you are worth your weight in gold, Aisha, if you offer to be an intern for 30 to 90 days, say you don't have to pay me, I just want to help do some of the business for you, I'll take some phone calls, whatever it is that you need to grow in. You find those folks, and that's what you're marketing for.
Okay, I can take that. Okay, thank you, Darlene. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. You got to have fun at this business. It can be very stressful, I know I would say the majority of the population has a hard time talking to strangers. And that's the biggest piece of this business that you have to overcome, is how do I talk to strangers and get a result that's beneficial to both of us.
I love it. It's a lot of fun because I've had people do that. Just walk up to me and start talking. I'm like, okay, now what do I do with you?
Right. Very good.
Well, I think, Kurt, if you have something else to add. Otherwise, I hope. How many people think they'll make it on Monday night?
I'll be there.
I'll be there.
Yeah. Mr. Colorado, Tony, are you going to make it?
Actually, I'm going to be in Atlanta August 25th, 26th, 27th, and I'm actually coming out there to drive specific cities. I've already got my list ready to go of 997 individuals, and I already have a property management company there in Atlanta, so that's been very helpful. A lot of people are scared to invest in out of state, and yet I've been pretty successful at it. But I just want to step up my game a little bit more. So, sorry, I won't quite be out there in time for it.
Well, I'll tell you, there's no reason that you can't join us if you don't want to. And worst case is continue to be virtually part of GaREIA, because there's a lot of good networking going on. Tony, if there's any way to try to hook up while you're here, I think would be a great idea. Unfortunately, you missed my class by a week. My class, folks on the phone, is Wednesday the 19th at GaREIA. It's just Georgia real estate investing strategies. And same thing, it's just more of what you're hearing from me now. I talk about where are you, where do you want to be, and let's see what it takes to get there. Tony, did I understand? Drive 997 properties?
No, that's I know that there's many ways of acquiring lists, and I've got one that's a nationwide place, a nationwide organization. It's called Agent Pro 24/7, and it does an extremely great job on getting lists sorted out. Very, very minute and fine tune it. Cost about 6 cents a name. And so what I've focused on, just to kind of give you an idea, is homes built between 1950 and 2000, single-family homes, assessed value between $10,000 to $70,000, 3 to 4 bedrooms, 1 to 2 baths. And then I start sorting it down by age group. So people that are between 50 to 60 years old. So in a specific zip code area, in an area that I'm looking at, there's 997, individuals that fit that criteria. And so what I'm doing is I'm coming in town. I've got 3 cities picked. So what I'll do is I'll spend a couple of days driving neighborhoods to get to know the area. My property management company already manages in that area, so he's kind of vetted the areas for me. I get online, I look at the schools, I look at crime, I look at all those things to really kind of start defining this is where I want to be. So when I get there, I kind of know the neighborhoods that I want to start driving for dollars already in.
And I let these kind of conversations go for the rest of us listening, because, I'm like, if I were Jesse, I'm thinking, or someone else on the phone, wow, this sounds like somebody I want to hook up with. And I can guarantee you that Tony needs additional boots on the ground, as we call it. Out-of-state investors, yes.
And you're absolutely right. I mean, I know a gentleman that was in Afghanistan, and he lives down in the Columbus area. And while he was in Afghanistan, he bought 13 rentals. And he had my boots on the ground, but unfortunately, he's about an hour and a half away. So, you hit it, the nail on the head is you're absolutely right. I would love to partner with somebody that can be my boots on the ground. I have a number of rental properties in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and Omaha, Nebraska, and in Colorado, and I have apartments that I also am an owner in. And you know what? Partnerships and working together as a team is what is the key thing to get you that kind of success. So, yeah,
really
you're right. I might just stop by and maybe try to visit with somebody there while I'm in town. I would love to do that.
Sounds great.
Yep. Hello?
Darlene?
Yes.
This is Nan.
Hey, Nan.
Hi. If Tony wants a boots on the ground in South Fulton, I'm available.
That's great.
Okay.
All right. All right.
Kurt, was that you?
Darlene?
Yes.
Hi, this is A.J. Daniels with Bazar Investments. I just wanted to tell you guys I've been listening in. Great program. Very interested and looking forward to meeting all of you out there. I'm actually in the Lithonia area as well. And just wanted to say that I'm always available for anything you guys want to put together. I'm a very, very seasoned investor, also a inactive licensee. My main challenges is putting together the financing for the deals that I've started to see since I've been back in the market. I've just gotten back in the Atlanta market most recently within the last year. And prior to that, I've done the Houston market. And then prior to that, before the market crashed, I was very successful in the Atlanta market as a real estate agent. So definitely looking forward to meeting you guys. And I like to do the pre-foreclosure list. I heard you say that you were on the steps sometimes, so maybe I'll get to see you down there. I like the pre-foreclosures as well as the tax lien properties.
Sounds great. AJ, thank you so much for sharing that. Absolutely, guys. This is a fantastic, the wealth of experience that we collectively share together. I think I learn more at my classes than I teach sometimes, and that's just phenomenal. Great opportunities. Pre-foreclosure, I eat, slept, and drank it for years and years and years, and that's one of my favorite lists.
Darlene, what's AJ's last name?
My last name?
Who's that? Who is that just asked my last name? It's AJ Daniels, and I don't know, Darlene. Is it okay to put an email address out there?
I really don't know. We'll leave that to Karen.
Thanks, Karen.
Any of you guys that are there on Monday, if you would make a point to introduce yourself to me and Kurt, we're looking forward to meeting you all. If you can make it Monday, by all means, please do. We'll spend as much time with you as you want in terms of answering any questions you have about the program or moving forward in the business. Thank you guys for taking this time tonight.
Darlene, I have a quick question. This is Tony. Would it be best that I make a contact through the Facebook page so that offline maybe I can figure out how I could connect with you?
Yeah, I think so. Kurt or Karen, are you still on the call? I think, Tony, that's probably the best way.
Okay, yeah. I'll just put a post there and request if I can then talk with you offline. That'd be great. Thank you.
That sounds great. Well, you guys all have a good evening, and I look forward to seeing most of you on Monday.
What time Monday, Darlene?
Doors open at 5:30 at the general meeting, and we go till 9 o'clock, and then we'll do the meeting after the meeting until we all get tired.
Okay, sounds good. Let's pick this up Monday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.